Hey, how's it going? My name's Jake Frost. Right now, you're looking at all the pictures I've taken for a month. It's my new LifeLog series. I'm going to log every month of my life in pictures and video and just see how it goes through the good and the bad. So thanks a lot for sticking around. This first minute is all pictures, and then I'm going to go through and I'm just going to talk and explain about all the cool, interesting things I've been up to right now, which has been going to Hawaii. That's what I've been into right now. But through the rest of my life, I hope to keep this up, to keep a artistic journal, a journal of, what I look like, a journal of my experiences and different things I've done. So thanks a lot for checking out my video, and I hope that you'll like them. So this is the first picture we came back to was a picture that I went to the Boston Pinball Association. It's like a party that I went to. And now this is skiing through Gunstock. We're going to Gunstock. I was in the New England region, and then I decided to move to Hawaii. Here's some pictures in the lodge of our ski mountain, Gunstock, and in the corner, of course, me skateboarding here in Hawaii. But it's been such a huge change, like so amazing, like such a different experience to be coming from New Hampshire and then all of a sudden be in Hawaii and doing all this crazy Hawaiian stuff. And I'm used to basically all this crazy New England stuff, and specifically I was near like New Hampshire, Vermont area. There's my cute little dog. There's a few pictures. I had just graduated college in a college outside of Boston called Fitchburg State University, and was really bored and living at my home and cuddling my dog a lot. That's basically what I was doing until I got this job out here in Hawaii. Decided to move out. Here's some beautiful cliffs and such. I was taking these pictures out of the plane, just like checking out what it looks like to fly from the right side of the US over to the left side, and there's a lot of really interesting like geographical shapes that are going on down there. But what surprised me the most about taking these pictures was how much space is completely uninhabited. It just seems like there's vast deserts and plains out there. This is a picture of me in San Francisco. Never really had been there before, skateboarding out there. That's a meal I had out there. Steak, ribs. Don't really get ribs very much. I immediately just started checking out all these interesting plants and stuff out there. This was the first picture I took when I got to Hawaii. It was these pictures of the chickens. There's chickens under those bushes, and I love chickens, so it was just I just immediately didn't care how much of a tourist I looked. I jumped out of the car I was driving in and just ran over and started taking pictures of these wild chickens. And it was just oh my god, this is the craziest place. Chickens live wild in New Hampshire. Chickens, that's Mauna Kea, that's the tallest mountain in the world apparently, or something, from sea level. This is a really weird dog I found, but that mountain, I'm gonna come back. I'll definitely be taking some more pictures on there because it's a really awesome mountain, I've heard. This is our friend Lauren's house. This is one of the first beaches I came to, and this is that's a mango tree actually. Those mangoes are probably ripe. I should probably go pick them, but when it fruits around here on trees, it's just so much fruit that it's no one can eat it all. Not one person can eat it all. Those are some old mill buildings and stuff I took, or not mill, they did the sugar cane here in Hawaii before it collapsed for some reason. This is a road out behind my house that leads to these cliffs. I basically have been down there quite a few times just to kind of hang out and check out the cliffs and everything. Here's some food I've been making. Good stir fry. That's the painting on the skate park. That skate park, Root Skate Park, has been just a savior for me. Every day I just put all my extra energy, physical energy, into skateboarding and getting better and better. And I think as I make these LifeLog videos, it's going to get even more interesting to see how much I progress in skateboarding. Probably took one too many pictures of the skate park, but it's just it's a really interesting skate park, actually. I met some people who are near the owners. That's from my bed. That place is called Pololu right there. It's one of the, southest points of Hawaii. No, it's the northernest most point of Hawaii. But basically, I like exploring and going to interesting places and taking pictures of them. And also there's the food aspect. So I got a bunch of different things that'll be continuously fun to watch for these videos. This one, obviously, the culture shock, I guess I can't really express the culture shock I got on the very first day, but it was really crazy. My body just literally felt weird for about a week or two. And then like exploring, like going out anywhere seemed like an alien world, like a completely alien environment. That was a really cool treehouse. You can't see, but in the bottom there's like a door that you have to open the door and like go around like a corner to get up to the top part of the treehouse. So I was really impressed with treehouses. So that's another thing from back home in New England that I really like, that it's like, oh man, they got treehouses here too. Every night it's like some really interesting skylines to watch if I get a chance to be out when the sun is going down. That's an anvil, a creative anvil I saw, or the sun's coming up, as in this picture. That's from my house again, right from my bed, just turned over, or before I got a curtain. I was really observing the sun a lot more. That was a spider. This is my friend's house in Kona, and this is their cat. I really vibe with these guys I met. They're my age, and they're just more similar to me, and who doesn't like people who are similar to them? But they also have a house with a pool that, they say the cat sits in that tree, which is so cool. And this is their front yard. Lots of like little tiny ornamental cool trees and such. This is where I work, and just an example of the geckos that live everywhere here. And when I first got here, I was like, oh my god, did you see that, a gecko? And everyone was like, yeah, it's a gecko, shut up. This is the patch of facial hair that I'm missing. I decided to grow a beard, which will also be cool in these videos, but that's the patch of hair that is just not growing in, and it's so annoying, but I'm going to combat it. This picture was obviously really cool, but you can't see it because it's night. That's a seed that fell from that tree, which is just ridiculous to me because it's the biggest seed pod thing I've ever seen. It's bigger than my skateboard. That's the bananas that are right in the back of my house. And then this is probably way too many pictures of windmills, but oh nope, only two. More coastline. That's like the kind of like coast that's all near me, but if you like drive down the road a little ways, it gets to be a different kind of beach. I guess apparently there's lots of like microclimates and things in Hawaii, so I really love these shots of like the grassy plains, and then it immediately abruptly just like stops and cuts and goes to those sharp cliffs. But I really like those pictures. Yeah, here's some more coconut trees up high. These are the sandwiches I make myself. I like to go triple decker. When you're not living at home, it's pretty nice to cook your own food again. These pictures are another place where I work, and it just, if you look carefully, there's a bird right there, and that's what I was so amazed about when I was taking these pictures. But now it's just pretty common for me to just expect to see birds flying around inside of the school where I work. They just kind of come in, they do a search for crumbs. That's a stir fry I made. But yeah, interesting building. But yeah, birds, geckos, both live inside the buildings, or at least the schools, which is pretty funny. These pictures of the sunset is just like, they're incredibly better than the pictures portray, so like it kind of sucks, but you can tell it's like, wow, this is an area that has some really nice energy. And I'm standing in the skate park when I took those pictures, and it's just like such a beautiful spot to be, like skating and exercising and being on the brink of your own physical movement and learning. And then right there you turn around, there's this like beautiful zenned out, like Lion King-esque, like Sahara looking like tree foliage with like sunbeams coming through them. That's my facial hair again. Just trying to keep a little checkup on it, because next month when I make the next video, it's going to look rapidly different. Another stir fry. I was real obsessed with stir fries this month. But oh, this place right here is called Manulani. It's one of the beaches that I went to and went snorkeling. So amazing. Oh my god, I hadn't really been real snorkeling, like, I'd say ever. Like, I went once in Mexico, but this was like the most amazing snorkeling I'd ever been to at this place, Manulani. I'll put up a link. Like, when I put on my mask, the best way to describe is, like, we started going out there and I was with like a local person who knew a lot about snorkeling and everything, and I just put on my mask and they were just like going all out to like the deepest parts and the weirdest, craziest parts, and like I could barely make it like 12 feet into the reef before like cracking up and like letting water and air into my mask because of how hilarious the fish are. It's just like, you know what, it reminded me of, I remember going into Boston to see the Red Sox with my dad, and they had this like big coral tank that they kept all the fish in and everything, and it's just like nothing compares to going snorkeling. It's like you realize how mean and how stupid it is to have these big pretty like fish tanks, because like if you really want to experience fish at all, then you got to get out of the comfort of your own home. Like, just keeping them trapped in those tiny containers doesn't really seem like a feasible plan to me. This eel I took too many pictures of too. It was like, it didn't really chill in the area where I was snorkeling, but then it was like off in this like half salt, half freshwater area. I was really scared when I first started snorkeling, but because I thought, like, you know, you're completely exposed, like with your arms out and your legs out, and it's just like, I thought they were going to go straight for my crotch and they were going to nibble through my body, and I was just like afraid of sharks. I was afraid of fish nibbling me to death. I was just like very weirded out by the whole experience to begin with. But then it just gives you this like feeling where, like, I remember the first time I skied powder in Jackson Hole, and it's just like one of those experiences that makes you think back to it. And I remember falling into the powder and just cracking up and being like, this is such a strange, hilarious scenario. I've got to get more into this. I've got to do this more because it's just so fun. Oh, this path in the pictures, epic longboard path, epic skateboard path. I wish some of my friends were around to see it, because it just like, it cuts through, it's just the greatest like longboard path I've seen. It like cuts through all these caves, and it cuts through all these like beautiful like shrubberies and like interesting looking things. And those birds in the corner, I think they're just doing some kind of mating dance that I don't really understand, but it's beautiful. So but yeah, this longboard path. Oh, and then there's sometimes wild cats that live in the woods. They don't live like normal wild cats. This is some art that one of my local artist friends did on my board. So my friend came and she colored all on it, and she made it very like nice looking. And you could see in that last picture how my facial hair had already grown. That was she gave me my roommate gave me steak to make. Oh, that's Maui. That's Maui right there. But my roommate gave me steak to make, and I made it kind of like popcorn chicken. There's Maui again in that picture. That's just one of my favorite places to chill right here and observe the whales, because whales, they're always going right, it seems, but whales just kind of frequently pass by the island, and it's not an uncommon habit to just see people kind of sitting around observing the whales, and you can physically see the whales. That's a program, Spitz. I'd suggest everyone checks out. That's a knife my little brother made me. Really awesome knife, great craftsmanship from my little brother. That's a fire pit that it's like also an oven. Oh, and in that bottom video right there, I was just so close to catching a few whales. But yeah, seeing the whales just like brings you back to a primordial state where you're like, whoa, dinosaurs were real. And it just like clicks this like feeling on you. This was a really cool state park that I went to and explored around. it's not like many state parks I've been to before. This is out behind one of the buildings. If you look really closely, there's a mini gecko, and basically there's green geckos and there's brown geckos, and the green ones are invasive and the brown ones are native. And the brown ones I've seen, like the babies, but the green ones I rarely ever see the babies. But I like to chase them, kind of like mess around with them. They're pretty funny animals in general. It's funny because as soon as they hit a like floor, they can't run at all, but like they'll be like all around on your like walls and everything, and they'll be like doing the most dexterity stuff ever. That's a camp space. That's camp space right there. It's really crazy. But yeah, they'll be doing dexterity stuff, and then as soon as they hit the floor, and they're like, oh, I can't run anymore on tile. It's so funny. But yeah, compared to like a pay camp space that you'd go to around from where I'm from, this was just, that guy looks like the dude from the Big Lebowski, which is pretty crazy. And then off here is kind of like more desert land, not desert land, but it's like lava zone, more camp spaces, I guess. This was like a cutout into a bunch of rocks where you could go down into them. That's more of the park. That was an exoskeleton, rocks with holes in them. Really fascinating stuff here. I'm really glad that you have tuned into Jake Frost's Life Logs, and you'll see more and more of my projects progress if you come back, and more interesting parts of Hawaii that I'd like to talk about. Hopefully this isn't too long and rambly, but you see the water right there really changes the lava rocks and makes it like an interesting pattern. I was trying to take a picture of a rainbow, and I ended up looking just like a hipster, but I kept the pictures in here because it's interesting to just see a few houses, like general driving down the road space. This flower is right outside my house. It smells really good. That's an intense boogie board. I mean, they take their boogie boards personally. That's my clothesline. And our bananas, as they've grown. So you saw our bananas in the beginning as they've gotten bigger, and then this is back home. This is my chickens back home, all cooped up and cold in New England, and they are not happy, but they probably wish I didn't move. And then here is the snow level back at my house in New Hampshire, and it's very cold. So thanks a lot for watching.